Alright guys, and welcome back for a new review. Today we're going to take a look at the Mezco Batman Dark Knight Returns Mutant Leader. So this is one of the main villains in the Dark Knight Returns series, the Mutant Leader. Pretty cool packaging here from Mezco. Some images on the back of the figure included. Some of the interchangeable heads and accessories, really cool stuff. And this actually slips off to the side, and then you can open it up, and there you have the figure inside. Really cool. And you got this pretty cool target image here on the side as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and crack this open and give you guys a better look at the Mutant Leader. Stay tuned. Okay, and as you open the package, this is the way you're greeted to the figure. So let's give you a quick look. Really cool looking presentation. See, there's a really awesome stand there in the background, and underneath that tray is included this tray, which has the baggie for the extra parts, which Mezco includes, and then parts for the stand. So let's get into the details. Okay, so here he is out of the package. I'm just going to give you a 360 view of him. Really cool, bulky figure. Excellent muscularity. Definitely see that he is definitely a brute. So coming in on the details, there is his gross and nasty feet. Man, those are gross. Those gray nails. It's a really cool shading. It's like a yellowish orange shading on the skin. He's got those spikes into the leather-like pants. Got the orange spiked belt, and of course the spikes on his wrist. It must be cold in here because his nipples are sticking way out. That is the way he was depicted. He had spikes, I guess, implanted all over his body. And look at that head sculpt and those gross sharp teeth. I like how they did the visor on him, because you can actually see his eyes underneath it. It's actually a glass. And at this scale, that is just an amazing detail. That looks phenomenal. And there are alternate heads included. So I'll just quickly go over the articulation on this guy so you know what you're dealing with. Mezco doesn't really disappoint in that department. So the head is on a ball joint, so it looks left and right, no problem. He looks up about that far, and he looks down about that far, so not too bad. The shoulders have this butterfly joint, but everything is really tight on this guy, so you gotta kind of work at it to get it moving. So it has the butterfly joint. The arms can go out to about that far, upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, and these spikes are really sharp, so as you're kind of handling this figure, it kind of pokes at you. And then the wrist is on a ball joint, so with that you can get swivel and pivot. Then on the waist here, you got a lot of nice articulation, so you can crunch forward about that far, and he crunches back that far. He also pivots to the side, so you can get a lot of cool poses out of that. So excellent pivot there. The upper butt, at the upper torso. At the lower, there's also another joint, so it can swivel there. Also pivots a little bit, so it works with your upper to kind of get a pose going. Legs can go out to about maybe a little further, but you don't want to push it on the material. And it can kick forward about that far. You get a double jointed knee. So that works really well. You get a boot cut, but this thing is poking me so much it really kind of stings. And then the hinge at the foot can go down, up, and has ankle pivot. So really cool articulation. Alright, so let's take a look at the accessories here. We'll start with the stand. Really cool stand. This translucent material, and it's got the image of the mutant leader himself. And with that, you could pop out the foot peg, and you can also pop in this stand extension piece, so you can pose them in a little bit more dynamic poses. So that's pretty cool. Then for accessories, you get the torch. It's got this translucent flame. Really nice paint job on the metal. Definitely looks authentic, so that's really nice. Then you get the crowbar that he beats the crap out of Batman with, this rusty crowbar. So that looks really cool. Excellent texture and detail on that. These are the 3 total heads that you get with the figure. So this one was the one that came on him. Again, it has that visor that you can see the eyes through. Just really nice detail there from Mezco. Excellent. So you basically see they basically put on the glasses over an existing sculpt. This is the one with his broken nose. So he's got no goggles. This is kind of like his prison look. Those teeth. Excellent paint, shading, and detail. Definitely a face only a mother could love. Or maybe she didn't. And then the screaming sculpt, or biting sculpt. He does end up biting Batman, along with kicking his ass in round 1. Look at that. Again, the visor you can see right through. Really nice options. And then you get the alternate hands. You get a gesturing hand, a gripping hand for the weapons, so you can grab the crowbar or the torch, and of course a couple of pairs of fists. Really nice sculpted detail in that. Little wrinkles. And you do get the bag, of course, to hold all those accessories when you're not using them. Alright, size comparison time. Here you can see the mutant leader next to the other 2 Batman from the Mezco line. So he scales in just right with those, as well as Punisher from Mezco's line. So they look really cool, and it's going to be nice to pose him up with Batman and get him into some cool fighting poses. Alright, so here's where the figure really shines. You pair him with Batman, and man, you can make some epic fight scenes. Really fun figures to pose together. Really digging that. Get him beating Batman down with the crowbar like he did in their first fight. Just a really sick figure. This is one of the alternate heads there, the screaming head, and really menacing looking guy. Really fun to pose around. Highly recommend getting this if you do have the Batman figures. I think the Dark Knight Returns series is one of the best, in my opinion, Batman stories ever told, of the grittier, older Batman returning to action and facing, you know, the new threat. Guys like this, the mutant leader. It was an excellent fight, just a cinematic masterpiece, adapted from the comic. Just awesome. Look at that. That is amazing looking. Alright, so final thoughts on the mutant leader. This is one of the earlier releases from Mezco, kind of what kicked off their 1/12 line to go along with their Batman. And even from the get-go, you got the idea that they were really serious about making these figures. They put a lot of attention to detail into these figures. Excellent sculpting, painting, articulation, box presentation. They really captured the art of the comics in these figures. Really fun to have on the shelf, to pose, to take photography of. So it's a highly recommended figure. Special thanks for this particular review goes to Death Asylum, who bought this for me as a birthday present. So thank you very much for that. There is the alternate heads, the crowbar, the hands, the awesome stand. Just a fantastic piece. If you did pick up the Batman Returns Batman, you really do want this for your collection. I highly recommend it. That's it, guys. Until next time.